Good morning. And it's going to be another warm day here in Sacramento, California. And another work week is behind us. For those of you who work, I'm sure you're happy it's Friday. Anyway, my birthday's coming up. Don't tell anyone, but it is coming up next, and I'm already starting to take advantage of the fact that the whole month is my birthday month. Okay, but because I'm keeping that a secret, ignore what I just said, and please don't send me anything. Don't no, it's cash is always appreciated in a person's life, though, because you can spend it selflessly on things like that. So, but keep that under your hat. Forget I said anything about my birthday, July 11th. Forget everything I said about PayPal and Patreon and the fact that. Oh, hello, dear.
What was that big real estate company you used to work for 9 years?
I worked at C.B. Richard Ellis.
For 9 years in the accounting department while he wrote books, of course. But he would tell his coworkers what size shirt he wore before his birthday. All month he'd be mentioning it. And he would actually get a shirt now and then. So he's shameless. Just...
I told him to keep it secret, dear. It's you know what a modest person I am.
Yes, that's why we call July Lontober all the time.
Well,
better start your class.
Let's change the subject from my birthday, July 11th.
To what?
PayPal, Patreon.
Oh, stop that. I mean, Really.
No, really.
It's been enough.
No, yes, I actually, no, not for my birthday. Just don't even think about it. Say a nice prayer, chant a mantra for me, or better yet, to Ganesha. Anyway, what I've done today is 50. I painted this 50 years ago. Okay. And you might say, well, that's beautiful artwork, Lon. You're quite an artist. No. I was taking the BOTA, okay, the BOTA correspondence course on tarot fundamentals and tarot, I guess I forget what the second series was. But anyway, each student is provided a blank printout sheet on cardstock of these cards in case you couldn't go down to the store and buy a box of them like that, or order them straight from the Figueroa Street, Los Angeles address there, which I did. And then for 2 weeks, you'd get 2 monographs, one a week, with coloring instructions and telling you every freaking detail on each of the cards, right down to the dimple on his knee, the color of his shoes, the fact that you've got all of those swirling wheels of spirit on there, and drawing your attention to features like that, the sun and moon conjoined, and the letter Shin. Where's the letter Shin? It's around there someplace. And the fact that there are color of the rose, the fact that his collar says Yod He Vav He. You got that sort of flaming thing there, and all of these little trifold things, that little diagram right down there. And it just looks like, nothing, but it's lots of stuff, okay? And you've got 2 weeks with a very strict coloring instructions. And in that 2 weeks, you get out your colored pencils or your Prang watercolor set, or the colored pens. I had a set of pretty good colored pens that I borrowed from Constance and my son's coloring box. And I took the time to do that. I think I've told you the story of the evening when I first finished this card after 2 weeks of painting it, and I set it up in my little telesterian altar, little Rosicrucian altar I had set up in the bedroom. And I was going to meditate at it, and and that's the vision I shared with you the other day about my father's. That's when I completely passed out and had a full-blown, lengthy psychedelic experience, and I talk about it in my Life of the Spirits. Be that as it may, it really tweaks you to do that, and it's an ingenious technique that the BOTA did. Then I finished off the whole deck, and eventually took a long time, 44 weeks, and then I coated the back of them with sort of a golden color that I had to do outside because the smell was very strong and it started to make me feel groovy in a bad way. So I had to finish them all outside. But anyway, this is what it looks like. And after you burn it into your soul, it looks like this. Okay. So let me put this stuff away because it's 50 years old and precious to me. And let me just get this. Talk amongst yourselves while I put this away. Okay. All of this just to open up the fact that I want to talk about a very obscure section of Aleister Crowley's Book of Thoth. Okay, now I wrote Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot, and humbly I say it's a good book. Okay, it's a book I wish I would have read before I tried to read this one. Nevertheless, this is the supreme comment on the subject of tarot and the Thoth Tarot, in my opinion. It's a brilliant, brilliant work. If you think you've read it once and it's been over 6 months ago, read it again. It's a different book. But instead of reading from the text itself, I was thumbing through, and usually I thumb through magazines and everything else from the back forward. It must be an old Chinese or Hebrew habit of mine. And I got to the appendices, and the appendices has a lot of wonderful collateral material where they tables, color scales, astrological information. And these color scales actually are the foundation of what the method to the madness of these cards. And it's got the triplicities of the zodiac and things like that. But there's a curious table that's simply called the Vital Triads. Now, these tables If you're sort of even superficially familiar with the arc of Crowley's career, you'd know that he had a huge body of work that he continually poured out of him year after year after year. And like all of us, we grow, we change, our attitudes change, including this Hey Tzadi switch and this 8-11 switch where the tarot is concerned. And some of these diagrams are from earlier publications where Crowley was still not switching Tzadi and Hey or 8 and 11. And some of them are. And one of them, I even think, one of the Tree of Life was almost in a transition period between those two points of view. So if you try to look at the Book of Thoth and its appendices like it's a Class A document, well, Crowley said it, I believe it, that's settled, you're going to be in just big trouble. You got to think for yourself, as with absolutely every freaking thing in your life. He makes no comments, no further comments, no elucidations, no exegesis on these vital triads, only what they are. And he's got them outlined in such a way that there's the three gods of Iao, the three goddesses, the three demiurges, children Horus and Hurparkrat, Yoni, guardians, woman justified, and slain gods. The lingam, the yoni, the stele, priest, priestess, and ceremony, and the pantacle of the whole. For years, I just looked at that and never bothered to do very much because it just looks so damn boring. But let's look at it for a second. And let's use Lon's 50-year-old hand-painted deck, because Crowley, when he wrote out these tables, especially this one, in all likelihood was not using the Frieda Harris artwork. Okay, he was most likely either going completely native and using the Tarot of Marseille, but more likely he was using the Smith weight deck that more or less the BOTA cards were formed off of. They're sort of the archetypal images that the Thoth deck would be an expansion of years later. So here we've got the three gods, Iao. Now, many of you know what Iao is, or have heard of that spelled IAO. In the rose cross diagram, you see IAO in some of those barbs of the rose. Iao, Isis, Apophis, Osiris. It's a formula of existence. It's a formula of being. It's a formula of creation. Isis is like life. Apophis is like destruction of that. Osiris is like the resurrection from that. Iao. You can really see the EAO formula at work in religious expression of the Aeon of Osiris, most notably in Christianity. Isis met Mary, Apophis, the crucifixion, Judas, maybe, and the resurrection. Osiris risen. But it's really Isis, the great mother goddess, who in a sense is the counterpart of the solar god Osiris, but Osiris gets killed by his brother Apophis, and Isis magically resurrects her husband, resurrects her husband, no pun intended, and he comes out as Osiris risen. It's the magical formula that has the structure and momentum of if you think the Earth is more or less flat and it's born in the morning, dies at night, and has to be magically reborn. It's more like born in the morning, killed at noon. Killed at noon. Okay, Osiris was killed at noon. Hiram Abiff was killed at noon. Jesus was crucified at noon. And resurrected in the morning. Okay. So, the three gods of EAO, well, there's 21 trumps, okay? So break them into triads. You've got 7 into 21. It just comes out so smoothly. The three gods of EAO, 0, the Holy Ghost. Number 1, the messenger. Number 9, the secret seed. Do you want more comments on that? Start with making them up yourself, because Crowley doesn't give us too much. Doesn't give us anything. He just gives us this. The three gods of EAO, the Holy Ghost, the messenger, and the secret seed. The second set of triads are the three goddesses. You could have guessed that one. The Virgin, the wife, now here's an odd one. It's not odd when you think of the mother, the Virgin, the wife, and the mother, because the star is Nuit herself, the great mother goddess of the night sky. Everything is in her. She is the mother on steroids. So here we have our three goddesses. Let's see. The three goddesses, the Virgin, the wife, the mother. Now the three Demiurgos. Okay, let's see how fast I can pull out a thing here, as we say. Now, I'm not going to do that. No, even on my birthday, I'm not going to do that. Did I mention my birthday? Here we go. Demiurgos, the god that thinks it's a god, but isn't a god. On a tree of life, the singularity, that's the reality. Okay. Number 2 is its reflection. It's not a thing in itself, it's just its reflection. And number 3 is just the knowledge that there's a difference between the one and its reflection. Or you could look at it as the one, when it wants to become self-conscious, it thinks of its reflection as the father of everything. And number 3 is, well, it's just like the first projection, like the first extended phallus, an eternal, an infinite phallus. But once it extends, it's got to extend into something, okay? It has to extend into a something nothing, to surround it, to enfold it, to squeeze it, to excite it. And that is number 3, Bina. That's all unmanifest. 1, 2, and 3 is just one thinking about itself and enjoying itself. It doesn't start to become actualized until number 4. So in order for that second triad to exist, it has to reflect itself. This first triad literally reflects itself. And right there in the middle is like a looking glass, a mirror, and there's the flipped image. Well, that flipped image is the beginning of a manifested universe. It's the beginning of the macrocosm that we mistakenly think is God. Because we can't even wrap our meat brains around 1, 2, and 3, let alone 1. But anyway, so in Greek mythology, Saturn, number 3, the Titan, not a god. There are no gods yet. There are no gods yet. Saturn and his wife keep having babies, and he keeps eating the babies. And as long as he keeps eating the babies, there is no second triad. There is no mirror. There is no abyss. As long as he's eating the babies, it just flips back around. Okay, but when his wife slips him a Mickey, slips him a stone, gets him stoned, and he throws up and creates the second triad, and the same thing that made 3 come out of 2 makes a third triad, and plop down right in the middle is the Malkuth kingdom. Well, the reason I'm telling you all of this is the first god that wakes up and thinks it's a god is Zeus. That's the baby that escaped. And because it escaped, it looked around and said, I don't see anything else, because he can't see that there were 3 qualities and mechanisms that went into making his existence. So he thinks he's king of the gods. He's Jupiter, he's Jove, he's Jehovah, which is the 4-letter word, the great 4-letter name of God, and there's Mr. 4 right there. And once Jupiter gets himself vomited out plops the other babies that he swallowed: Mars, Sol, Venus, Mercury, Luna. And all of those look up to Zeus and think he's the highest one. So he becomes king of the gods. That's the Demiurgos. Jehovah is a Demiurgos. Jove is a Demiurgos. Almost every culture has one. But I'm digressing, aren't I? The 3 goddesses were the Virgin, the wife, and the mother. The next set is this 3 Demiurgos. Predictably, the All-Father. This is the Jupiter card, everyone. The All-Father. then the ruler, and the son, or the priest. All Father, the ruler, the son, priest. The three Demiurgos. The next triad Crowley calls the children Horus and Hur-Par-Krat. Now, the Horus brothers are really, really superstars of the active passiveness. And active passiveness, besides being reminiscent of duality, it's more than that. It's a process that needs each other. It's an alternating current. It's positive and negative. It's love given, loved received, love given, loved received, and it is sort of stylized in Egyptian religion as two brothers. One is wild and crazy. He wears a black leather jacket and he drag races every night. He stays out late and he's really short-tempered, especially when it comes to anybody messing with his folks or his family. He gets so pissed, and he's always picking fights with the biggest bully in the universe, and they're always fighting, and no one never wins, really. It's he's loud, he's boisterous. That's Horus. Rahur Kuit. And they're both aspects of the sun, the positive and negativeness of solar radiation and fusion. But he's got a twin brother. And at first, I guess they think he's retarded or disabled of some kind, because he's like a Harpo Marx. He's silent. He never speaks. And he's like a baby, and he's so innocent. He's so innocent. Actually, it's this guy. Okay. He's so innocent that when bullies try to bully him, they're defeated by their own lack of balance. He's the ultimate no contact judo master. Okay, you don't nothing. He's so innocent you can't hang an attack on him. His silence is louder than anything else in the universe. And him and his brother are a team. And together, they can't exist without each other. In the same way two can't exist without three and stuff like that. But anyway, the children, Horus and Hur-Par-Krat. So Horus is the wild and crazy black leather jacket, and Hur-Par-Krat is the innocent baby that is so innocent he can use crocodiles as roller skates. Anyway, here they are. The first one is the lovers. The twins emerging. The sun playing. And the crowned and conquering child emerging from the womb as ALP. Does Crowley explain what he means by emerging from the womb as in ALP? Well, there's your ALP, first of all, Aleph. And Aleph is spelled Aleph, Lamed, Pei. And this is the Pei card. So, Aleph, the very beginning of it all, emerging from the womb, A-L-P. A-L is the Hebrew word for God. And Pei is the mouth. Now, I don't know if Crowley was trying to, like he often does, try to deliver an esoteric message on 21 levels, all at the same time, including his thinly veiled sexual allusions. I don't know. All I know, and this is something for you to work on, the triad of the children of Horus and Hupar-Krat. The third character in that triad is the Tower card, the crowned and conquering child, emerging from the womb as an ALP. Think on that, my children. And it'll probably be a better idea than I've come up with so far on that. Okay. The guardians, or the yoni, Gaudens, G-A-U-D-Ns. In parentheses, he said, the woman satisfied. Oh, excuse me. That never happens. The woman justified. Now he talks about the in the Book of Thoth itself. He talks about the justice card, or what he calls the adjustment card, which is Libra in the sky. And one of the buzzwords for it is the woman justified. Now, you could take that on a very, the woman satisfied. And you could take that on all sorts of levels with the balance and off balance, return to balance, and the woman justified. Or you could take it like a gypsy fortune teller and go, oh, yes, the woman will be finally satisfied. And you're out. And you're out the door. The woman, she's going to be satisfied. Anyway, the yoni, Gaudens, the woman justified. Number 6, the Grail, the chariot of life. Let's get alchemical now. 14. The pregnant womb, persevering life. Now remember, in the Thoth Tarot, the angel stands in front of a giant egg about to hatch, that Orphic egg, which has gone through the sexual alchemical process of the previous cards. It's that part of the alchemical formula. The pregnant womb, preserving life. And the third one is number 8, which Crowley would later call number 11. The sexually joined. Now, people always want to accuse Crowley of just, oh, his dirty mind. He sees everything in a dirty way. No. Sorry, right from the Tarot of Marseille, right up to the Thoth Tarot and modern tarot decks, the woman with the lion has always been Babylon riding the beast. Always. The archetypal images of the tarot leaned heavily on apocalyptic imagery, and that's always what it was meant to be. So don't be quick to say, oh, I would rather have a wholesome weight deck because, she's naked and, it's an animal. No, it's always been that. Okay, so there's those three. This is the triad of the Yoni, Gaudens. Please, I hope somebody leaves me a nice definition of that term on our comments. The woman justified. The Grail, chariot of life. The pregnant womb, preserving life, not persevering life, preserving life. And the sexually joined. The next triad is the slain gods. Now, this one is a curious one, and I'm thinking, was Crowley grasping at straws here? But then I started to think. The first of the slain gods is number 11. Actually, he would flip that to number 8. And he just says 156 and 666. That's the first of the slain gods. 156 is Babylon. And 666 is the beast. Number 11, Babylon and the beast conjoined. And that's exactly what it would be if we used that. Can you see why Crowley himself was tortured at this 8-11-11-8 switch back to the Tarot of Marseille sequence? Because that then would make this the pregnant woman preserving life. Why doesn't Crowley make things easy on us? But anyway, and the third one in that series is, come on, should be the death card here. Yes. The redeeming belly, which kills 15. Oh, and what's 15? He's the first actor in the next Vital Triad. The lingam, the yoni, and the stele. Priest, priestess, ceremony. 15, he calls erect and glad. The witch. God and man as twins from Nuit and Hadit. And then finally, the Pantacle of the Whole. And he simply, where does it go? This one. Simply calls that the system, the pentacle of the whole. Okay, now I wish I had wise comments clearing up every little curious mystery of these vital triads. Mostly they're hung up on this Sadi Hay switch, but in this particular case even more so on the 811 switch. And for those of you who aren't, who could care less about this stuff, the early Tarot of Marseille sequence was the first. Tarot of Marseille was kind of the first established 22 trump Kabbalistic based three elemental primitive elements cards and 7 planetary cards and 12 zodiacal cards. Tarot of Marseille was the standard of that. And they had originally placed the Judgment card, which in the order of the zodiac would have actually placed it in the 11th position. They had it placed in the 8th position, and the Strength card in the 11th. The Golden Dawn changed that, and it's very logical that they would change that. And but Crowley eventually thought, well, maybe they jumped the gun on that switch. And when it came time to the Thoth Tarot, and when he started to play with the mystery of the Sadi Hay switch, that's a switching of Hebrew letters, not of the key numbers. He found a certain symmetry with if he would make that same switch with the key numbers, because to do that, they're truly on the opposite, 180 degrees away on the opposite side of the zodiac, and it made sense to him. Well, in these vital triads, it seems like he's trying to have it both ways in his comments on what cards are what part of what triad. But anyway, that's something for you to think of. And I got a chance to share my artwork, or at least my coloring work for you. And as I was looking at it in the screen, I could see that I used silver reflecting and gold reflecting material, and then I coated these with a professional spray coating seal type thing. So the colors have stayed really vibrant over 50 years. So I'm still pretty proud of that. There's small cards too, but the small cards in the BOTA deck, and court cards, of course. And I started painting the court cards, but I didn't get very far because I'm a lazy bastard. Who is saying, Constance is singing in the kitchen, that must mean I gotta go. For my Chinese students, I'll see you tonight, or at least my tonight, your tomorrow morning, and I'll see you a little later today. And for everybody else, class is dismissed. Start your weekend right now. Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. Bye-bye.